Hello everyone, and welcome to today's presentation. Today we are going to discuss how Microsoft's new BI application, Power BI, helps organizations bring their project online data to life. Just a few notes about today's presentation. All lines will be muted throughout the presentation. We will be taking questions though through the GoToWebinar question panel, so please feel free to type into that section and we will answer your questions. And we will also be recording today's presentation, so if you have to step away, don't worry, we will be sending all registrants a recording of the webinar. So real quick, let's do a couple of introductions. My name is Michelle Manumtum, I'm from Tivity, and I will be your host and one of your presenters today. And the way I see my role here at Tivity is being responsible for making sure that each and every customer is getting value out of our products and our services. And I also have on the line with me my colleague, Amy. Amy has a very strong history working with data insights and analytics, and she's really got a knack for coming up with creative and effective but simple solutions to address business pain points. And recently, she's been kind of entrenched in Power BI and has led the charge for building Tivity's Project Online Power BI report back. So today, she's going to share some very valuable information as she demonstrates using Power BI with Project Online data. So just a couple slides to kind of set the framework for today's environment with the world of data. And I know I don't have to tell you, but the world of data is drastically changing. Not only is data increasing substantially as the amount of data is available to us, there's new data types, and people are expecting to access this data on any device in a very friendly way with a collaborative effort. So there's really this new world of the data analytics and insights that we're experiencing in the business. And traditionally, this is a nice spreadsheet that I'm sure you're all used to seeing. So traditionally, data sets have been in Excel files or database tables, and trying to access that information and make it meaningful can be challenging at times, and it really takes more of a analytical person to interpret that data. And in today's world, really what we're looking for is to tell a story with our data, making an impact in translating the data into visualizations that executives and business users can interpret and make sense of, and actually help make data-driven decisions because of the way the data is actually presented to them. So Microsoft Power BI is Microsoft's new business intelligence application that's available on Office 365, and it's part of the whole suite of the experience with Office 365. And what it does is it really allows you to transform your data into these rich visuals, and it's really looking at data across a variety of different sources. So what they've done is enable executives and end users to go to one place in order to access information across multiple systems. So no longer do they have to log into 5 different systems and drill into dashboards and reports within those applications. All of this information is brought to them, and it's brought to them in one familiar interface, and it's brought to them on any device. So Power BI is available on your tablet, on your laptop, on your phone, and you can even trigger your own personal alerts. And it's very personalized too, so you can create your own personal dashboards, and Amy's going to go through that when she goes into the demonstration. And I think something's really interesting here. You know, if you look at today, only about 10% of organizations' business users can do business analytics. And Microsoft believes, and we believe as well, that really everyone should have easy access to the data they need in order to make informed decisions. I can't tell you how frustrating it is when I can't get access to the data that I need from multiple sources in order to really drive value within the business. Now, the challenge is that accessing this data can be daunting. And the data lives in multiple sources, and trying to find it and analyze it can be cumbersome. And so in order to solve this problem, we really need to make data of all types much easier to find, access, analyze, and share with other users. And this is the path that Microsoft's on, as well as Tivity. So with Tivity's Connect solution, we are really looking to provide you access to a variety of data sources, as well as the out-of-box Power BI data sources. and help you hit the ground running with pre-built solutions and report packs. In addition, the Tivity Connect solution offers capabilities that kind of extend your access to the data via alerts and via SMS and email. Now today, we're going to focus in on the Project Online capabilities with Power BI and Tivity's Connect, which is Amy's going to show you some of our pre-built report packs so that you can actually hit the ground running and have access to reports and dashboards right away and tweak those and tailor them to meet your business-specific needs. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Amy so she can deep dive into the demonstration and show you what Power BI looks like with Project Online data.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Michelle. So what I'm going to show you see my screen?
We do. Thank you.
Great. So what I'm going to show you today is just a little bit about how to navigate through Power BI and some of the different capabilities we have available in Power BI. So as Michelle mentioned, Power BI is part of the Office 365 suite. So you can access Power BI the same way you access your other Office 365 apps. So you can see that there's a little app square for you, and you can just click on that. And then what you're going to get when you open up your Power BI initially is your own personal portal. So Power BI is going to show you your own personal dashboards, reports, and data sets. And you're going to have access to all of those things right in the beginning when you open up your Power BI portal. So the first thing that you're probably going to be interested in doing once you get into Power BI is getting some data. So we're going to go down here and get some data. The different ways that you can get data in Power BI, you can get data through organizational content packs. You can also get data through a lot of different services that Microsoft connects to. So you can get data from a number of different sources. Project Online, which is what I'm going to mainly go through today, as well as Salesforce, CRM, QuickBooks. You can also get a lot of data through your own local files. So you can upload data from spreadsheets, Excel, Access. You can also get a lot of data from your own databases, SQL databases, and otherwise. So once you've got your data, the next thing that we're going to go through is dashboard. So I have a dashboard open right now, and it's a strategic portfolio dashboard. So the purpose of this dashboard that I have open is really just to give you an overall view of the return on investment and risk of a portfolio or the portfolios in your organization. So we have a bubble chart here, for example, that's going over the ROI versus the risk for these portfolios. You can also see cost, ROI, risk on these gauges above. It's very easy to access data. And on the right-hand side here, we have another different visual for us to see how our portfolio's ROI is going. So you can see the length of the bars is actually indicating the cost, and the actual where the bars are located in the list is showing how high the ROI is for that individual project. So another thing you can do is if I click in here and choose this portfolio strategic bubble chart, you can really drill in and see individual portfolios. So let's say I really only want to look at providing information. And I can kind of see here now what projects are in that portfolio and how those individual projects are doing. So if I'm only in charge of this one portfolio project, this is probably going to be the view that I want to look at. I can just see those specific projects and, again, just a summary of what's going on with the ROI and risk in those individual projects. So you can actually use these dashboards for a number of things. These dashboards consist of different visualizations and reports that you can pin to them, and they can really be structured to meet the needs of different user groups in your organization. So you can see we've got a few other dashboards in here. We have an IT service management dashboard, and this dashboard is actually drawing data from a couple of different sources. We have project data over here, and we also have service data over here. So you can actually combine different sources of data in your dashboard. We have a sales dashboard, so your sales organization can look at how sales are doing. You can also go in and see some portfolio financials and see how costs going over your entire organization. So there are a lot of different uses for dashboards in Power BI, and they can really be useful for all aspects of the organization. You can target them for many different user groups. So now what I'm going to show you is a few reports. So one report that I know is very popular is the portfolio status report. This is a report that I know a lot of organizations generally use to track their portfolio status. So you can see here I have the provided information portfolio open, and I can see just by looking at this dashboard really quick, I can see how my costs are doing. I can see how my work is doing, and I can also see just general health, schedule health of my project, my portfolio, excuse me. So, and I can go over here and I can filter for different projects that I want to look at, portfolios. And let's say that I'm looking at this portfolio and I decide I really just want to look at how one individual project is doing. So I can come down here and I'm going to open up this project status report. And here I can select just an individual project, and I can look at how that individual project is doing. Again, you can see the health. I can check out the milestones for this project. I can look at and see how the work is doing and the percent complete. So this is a really useful tool if you're a project manager and you just really quick want to come in and check on the different health and status of your one project. These are actually all projects, like Michelle had mentioned, that are part of our activity report pack. So with Activity Solution, these reports come with your Power BI, and you'll be able to access all of these. And the great thing about it is it's a place to start. They're all customizable reports, so you can go in and customize the reports for your individual organization once you've got this basis, which seems to be very helpful to a lot of organizations. One more report that I did want to show is the resource work versus capacity report. So this report is more of a resource manager report. It's showing all of the different resources and the assignments that they have over a period of time. So this black line up here is showing actually what the capacity is for the organization, and you can kind of look and see that, for example, in October, it looks like we're a little over allocated. So if I am interested in seeing a little bit more about where I'm over allocated in October, I can click on this, and it will drill in to show me specifically only in October where my resources are at. So I can see that it looks like towards the end of the month, for example, I am more over allocated with my resources. So if I'm a resource manager, I can come in, check this out, and then I can go through and reevaluate my resource assignments afterwards. And the great thing about this specific report is that it does have the drill-in capabilities. So I can see different levels of this report. I can look at different amounts of detail. So now I'm looking at a set of months, and then I can go look at quarterly data. I can even go up all the way to yearly data. So I can kind of just look at the granularity that's appropriate for my individual usage, which seems to be very helpful. And so some other things that you can actually do with these reports, you can save the reports to your desktop. You can print these reports. You can also publish these reports to the web. And actually a new capability that Power BI has, you can embed reports from Power BI in PowerPoint. You can also, there are actually functional reports that you embed in Power BI, or in PowerPoint, excuse me. So you can go in and you can actually put this into one of your PowerPoint presentations and show, whoever you're presenting to what's going on with a specific report that you are usually viewing. You can also put them in Excel and Word. So that is a great new capability that they've added. So the next thing that I wanted to go through is something that Power BI calls a natural language query. I know it sounds really complicated, but actually it's very simple, and it's a huge help if you want to get some data really quickly, and also if maybe you're not the most technical report builder. This is a really easy way for you to get in and see some data. So up here you can see there's a bar that says ask a question about the data on this dashboard. So how this works is a lot like a web search. I can go in and I can just type in, let's say I want to see what the count of issues by project name. So what's going to happen is that Power BI is going to see what I typed in, and they are going to create a visualization for me right on the spot, a custom visualization to show me what data I have searched for. And the nice thing about this is that I didn't have to go through and write any queries for this. I didn't have to go through and select an X or Y axis, nothing. I just typed in what I wanted, and Power BI came up with a visualization for the data set I was looking at. So another cool thing about this, let's say that I didn't really want it to show up in a bar chart, which is the way that Power BI saw fit. That was what made the most sense based on the data that I was searching. But let's say that I want to look at it as a pie chart instead. So I can just go in and type, comma pie. And easy as that, it switches into a pie chart for me. So I can then go in and I can use this visualization that I just created, and I can pin it to an existing dashboard. So let's say I want to add it to my strategic portfolio dashboard. And then when I go back to my dashboard, you'll be able to see here at the bottom, here is the visualization that I just created. And just that quick, I can come in, I can resize it, I can move it around my dashboard, and I now have a new visualization that I just created in just a few moments. Another cool aspect of the search is that as I start to type, it does start to show up suggestions for what they think I'm looking for, which it works a lot like a web search. So it's very user-friendly. It gives for a really good user interaction experience, which is awesome. So as you can see, there are a lot of great functionalities of Power BI. It's a very powerful tool, and it can be very useful within an organization and all across an organization, because you can target many user groups and get data from many different sources. It's versatile for managers, users, team members, really anybody in your organization. So it can have a lot of great functionality for you, and it can be a very powerful tool to get the information and the data that you need in a easy-to-use format. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Michelle, and she's going to see if we have any questions and wrap things up for us.
Thanks, Amy. Oh, one thing I did want to mention for you as Amy was going through the querying or the natural language query, you can actually set up synonyms. So if your data set is maybe not as intuitive as from a naming convention standpoint, when you set your Power BI instance up, you can actually set synonyms for those data so that it's a little bit easier for your executives to search. So that's something that's really nice to have when you're building that out, to make it just as easy as possible for people to access the information. Now, one thing I did want to note as well as we move into closing the presentation is that there's 2 different versions of Power BI that you can sign up for, and you don't have to go, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. You can have a mixed licensing model. So there is a free version of Power BI that will support a lot of capabilities and a lot of the personalization and dashboarding that Amy showed. And then there's the licensed model, which is very inexpensive still, that allows you to have additional security. It integrates with the group capabilities, if you're familiar with that from Office 365. It allows you to have organizational content packs and that type of thing. So it offers a little bit more capabilities from a licensing standpoint. But you can go either way, and they're both much less expensive than a lot of the other competitors out there from a BI standpoint. So one thing I wanted to offer as a thank you for attending the presentation is we do offer free trials of Project Online if you're interested in kind of getting into Project Online to see how it works. And we also incorporate the Power BI application with that trial, so you can get your hands on Power BI and understand how that would interact with your Project Online data from a trial standpoint. So if you're interested in that, please feel free to reach out to info@tivity.com and we will help you get that set up. And then also, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to share them in the chat window. And then last, I wanted to let you know, Amy kind of briefly showed you some of the capabilities of Power BI, but we do offer training that you can get into a little bit more of a deep dive. Power BI, and Amy, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have a few different options for creating reports. There's a web option that you can use with the Power BI app, but there's also a Power BI desktop that you can use to create a little bit more sophisticated reports. And then you can also embed SSRS reports into the Power BI application as well. So you really have that one-stop shop for all of your business insights and intelligence for the business users and the executives to access information. Is that correct, Amy? Did I miss anything on that?
No, you're exactly right. And with the Power BI desktop tool, you actually have access to even more options for connecting to data, which is awesome because there are so many available to you, and almost anywhere that you have data you can connect to using Power BI. If not in the online version, definitely in the desktop tool.
Great. So if you're interested in learning more and you want to maybe attend some of our training, we offer 2 different levels. We offer level 1, which is not really hands-on, but it does go into a deep dive of the web app as well as the desktop app. And then we also have a level 2 course that's more hands-on, so you'll get your hands dirty and you get to actually play with the data set with the training course itself. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and we really appreciate you attending the session today, and we hope that you guys connect with us on either LinkedIn or feel free to reach out to us directly. Our emails are on the screen here, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for attending, and have a great day.